Bartel has been one of the persons who's watched all the shows. I talk to him on a regular basis in the EverQuest Next IRC channel.
What we saw with, Kunark for EQ2, you did those 400 quests, you did all the content, and at the end of it, the world wasn't changed.
Yeah, I'm Phantom X. I do social media and write articles for EQ Nexus.
For the Fall of Bastion, there was a very definite, okay, this is where your story is going to fit into the world.
Listen, fluffy looking bear, thank you. Listen, I went and I killed a dragon, and then 2 drops of whiskey hit my face, and I willed this manly beard into cow was raising, yes!
Hello and welcome to the EverCast show. This is episode number 38, which we have titled Ogre Achiever. For those that are new joining us, this is an EverQuest Next and Landmark podcast. I am Tanlin. With me are 2 of our other regular hosts, Flatus and Kyla. So I'll allow them say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hello. That's all I got.
That's it. Hi.
I just want to say that I'm sick with a scratchy throat, so I apologize if I sound like crap and look like it too. I'm going to do my best to talk.
Chew's slacking tonight.
Yeah, he's slacking. Well, I slacked on Friday. I totally missed everything that I was supposed to do on Friday because Halloween and stress and stuff. So I didn't get a chance to do Friday Night Fights, even though I said last Sunday, I'm definitely going. But I'll be there this week, guys. I hope, I think. I want to be there. I want to get some honest goodness landmark combat in. I just have to make sure that I don't get too overwhelmed with my house being torn apart and stuff like that. Yeah, and Halloween.
Yeah, you have your real life going on right now.
Right? If I had the voxelmancy, I'd be like, okay, we're gonna build this wall, we're gonna make this arch, this texture. I would totally be down with that.
Bigger, floor
yeah.
looks nicer.
All the things.
all the things.
So, how has Final Fantasy XIV been going? I know that's what you've been enjoying yourself.
Well, much like Kylas, I've been sick this past week, and I've been hopped up on Mucinex DM, and every time it was I was making an attempt to come play the game, and I'd sit at my computer and just zone out and pass out. A lot of people just kind of gave me a slide this week. They're just like, we understand you're sick. I would say, I'm coming, guys, I'm coming, and I just pass out, because I'm just, DM doesn't make me loopy, it just drains me. Because it's especially, I could try to get the strongest, expectorant I can, so.
Big yum!
Yeah, so. I take the strongest stuff I can, and I try to. I think the first night I took it, I forgot that I had taken it, and then it was after work. I'd taken it when I got home after I bought it, and I got home, and an hour later, I totally forgot I had taken it. Because it's not something I'm used to taking. So I took it, and then an hour later, I was like, I want a beer. Get a beer. And then halfway to the halfway to drinking that beer, I was like, I think. And then I looked over in the back, and was like, well, it's gonna be fun.
I'm normally a pretty interesting sleeper. I talk in my sleep, but if I take any NyQuil or anything with that antihistamine that makes you drowsy, I get loopy.
And he says horrible, horrible things.
I say horrible things while I'm sleeping, yeah.
Since he brought it up, the best one to date was me telling him I love you, honey, and good night. And he says, I don't want to talk about it.
I want to know what he didn't want to talk about.
Either that I loved him or that I told him good night. I'm guessing because I said I love you. But there's been... That's the best one that I could share comfortably, publicly. How about that? I love you, honey.
Oh, by the way, Tamlin's beard is coming in nicely. My beard is... it won't take much longer. I grow hair pretty quickly out of my face, so that's not going to be too much longer before the beard's rolling.
Yeah, and this is not the no shave November or whatever it is. This is, I trimmed it today. It could have been longer, but just saying. I know that we went over grooming tips. Pardon?
No shave November. Do women participate in this?
Yeah, possibly.
All right.
There's a joke, but I just can't say it here.
I see it.
So, let's move on to the EverCast news segment, eCast news. All right. Last week, I think it was Chad that was like challenged us all to do the Ogre build contest. Obviously, since he's not around, we can't do the build off, so we're delaying it. But I'm gonna hold him to it because I can throw down my dirt blocks better than he can throw down his dirt blocks. Oh, sick burn! Yeah.
What are you, 5?
No, 37. So, other EverCast news is that Vanguard. We have not heard the last of Vanguard. There is I for the last week and a half, they've had the emulator server up and running. I've been able to log in and run around in the game, and it's Vanguard. There's not a lot going on in it right now because they haven't activated any of the other like basic systems that you would expect from an MMO. But like running around in Talon is available if you need to get your Vanguard fix. I know I did, and got a little nostalgic running around and seeing some of those old areas. Last bit of little EverCast news. I'm going to look for the tweet that Dave Georgeson put out, but just want to remind people, because we talked about it a little bit on our show last week. EverQuest Next systems are landmark systems. Like if you want like the early input into what EverQuest Next is going to be, play Landmark, because that's where it's at. That's there. We showed you the armor is going to be exactly the same. You can look at the blueprint and you can see that the keywords for EverQuest Next are going to be in Landmark sometime by the end of the year. Optimistically, do you guys have anything on that? Have any other thoughts on the EverCast news before we start diving into like the main meaty topics?
I mean, we know Landmark systems are EverQuest Next systems, but are all EverQuest Next system Landmark systems?
Oh, did I say that wrong?
Do you want me to draw a Venn diagram so we know, like...
I'm just saying that the reason we're doing this podcast is because we're excited about EverQuest Next. We want to be able to have a discussion with the community about EverQuest Next and Landmark, since they've given us the Landmark. And people are always like, well, what about EverQuest Next? What about EverQuest Next? What about EverQuest Next? I was like, well, have you been playing Landmark? Because that's where you're getting that early look.
I was going to say, Legendary is right. They did add multi-threading this last patch and sleep support. So they're...
all right, hold on. I'm going to take off the EverQuest news and put in... Oh, I guess that's not Blueprint because they put it in the game. Now,
yeah, it's already in the game, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I did mean to talk about that a little bit because I know my computer is pretty beefy, and so I did not notice that big improvement in how the game plays because it normally plays really smooth on my computer. So I was going to, open it up, have you guys logged in and run around. Have you noticed that the multi-threading changes to the game have made it easier to play? Do you get better performance? What do you guys think?
I will check later. Probably after the show. Like I said, mostly been in a Mucinex haze this last week. I didn't even get to check out the patch for Final Fantasy that dropped.
Yeah,
so I get to play around with my rogue.
I can see a difference because my machine isn't beefy like my husband's machine is. So yeah, I saw a significant difference in gameplay. I have seen no cogs of death. That was very nice.
I probably will see a nice increase. So because I'll have the multi-threading jumping in, so and I have a sleeve, so that'll help. That should bump up, give me a nice little bump as well.
Right, but that does go into the to the blueprint. They did a serious revision to the blueprint. I don't remember when Dave went back in and edited the hell out of that, but he thrashed it and mashed it, and it looks totally different now. I think everybody here has had a chance to take a look at it now.
Yep, I have indeed read the blueprint.
So the big thing is that the week of November 12th, which is 2 weeks away, they're talking about the things that they're planning on adding to the game. The big ones are the achievement system that they're throwing into the game, prop destruction, the integrated. We've talked about it a couple of times, but the integrated voice over internet, the TeamSpeak that's built into the game is coming in that patch. And then what I guess they called it exceptional items. That they're throwing into the game, which is they're finally adding the salvaging, the refining. They're adding more weapons. Finally, Kitty can get her axes. Tamlin can get his polearm. Armor is coming, and new accessories are coming. So that's like the big push for 2 weeks from now, the week of November 12th. They're calling.
I wonder if Kit's even here for that. Probably not.
I'm feeling bad for this baby cannon. Cogs of death and cries miserably. I feel your pain. The game was so bad when it first launched that it seriously made me want to cry.
It was
It was miserable I couldn't play it on my computer at all. Literally could not play. I could log in and I'd take 2 steps, and then it was cogs of death for like 15 minutes. Could not do anything.
Yeah, and to SOE's credit, from that moment, she asked for a refund on the game because it was unplayable, and she got the refund. And then, what was it, 2-3 weeks later, they improved it, and you could play again, and you purchased it again?
Yep.
Yeah.
They got less money the second time around, though.
So what was that about the new game experience?
Okay, so they say for the week of November 12th that they're going to introduce achievements. At last! We need these so badly. The new user experience, long-term goals, and events are all tied into the same achievement system, and once it works, we can finally make Landmark feel like a game. 1. Achievements don't make a game a game. 2. The last time Sony said anything about new user experience, new gameplay experience, you fucking killed my game. That was the moment you murdered galaxies, I swear. If this is the death of Landmark, I will never be a Sony person again. Tangent.
Yeah, but it's just achievements. I don't think how could that be such a drastic new game experience that it's like, oh, it's a world crushing addition to the game, and we have to get rid of it and start over, or get rid of it and play something else. I mean, I'm looking forward to achievements because I'm that type of person. Yeah. I need to be able to be like, okay, well, this is my merit badge that I can earn, and this is my merit badge that I can earn, because that gives me something else to do when I log into the game. Because I'm not a very skilled builder, and I get bored of the.
Hold. No, I agree with you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but Legendary dropped achievements are allegedly the way we'll improve our characters, increasing permanent health and energy and stuff. F that.
Wow, I knew that there was going to be the achievement systems that they were talking about using that to unlock how long your claim could be in the world, right? So like you earn your merit badge, and now you can pay your upkeep for like up to 4 weeks instead of 3 weeks.
But increase my character's ability to be more bad, like.
Oh God, I hope that's not true.
Yeah,
I hope that doesn't carry over to EverQuest Next. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah. That would be awful.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Kill 3,000 bears, then you become Bear Destroyer, and you're stabbing bears in the face and or butt. Okay, sorry if I didn't say it. Chat would say it a bajillion times. 40 times. However many people are in here. Everyone would say butts. Bare butts. Listen, achievements is not one way for me to improve my character. Me improving my character is through the ability of me taking on adventure, gathering the goods I need, and equipping the gear, and telling my story. It's not like you punched a tree, got wood. You now chop tree better by 40%. You chop tree. Good job. Here's a little tag. You got wood.
We're going to say that we're not going to have quests, and we're not going to have quests, but we're going to have these things, and they're going to call them achievements.
Achievements.
But these things that we call achievements are really quests in disguise, because like we're totally like revolutionizing the gaming industry by lying to you about what it's really called.
Ooh, that's but what was it? The Secret World kind of did that, right? Like they said that the Secret World was like a levelless class system, and instead they just changed what a level was instead of like grinding out experience points, so that you go 5, 10, 15, 20, 30% all the way to 100%, and then bam, you roll over to the next higher level. All of your stats increase incrementally just a little bit when you go up that level, and you get some new abilities that are unlocked. And the Secret World is like, oh no, we're levelless. Instead, you go out and you get these, mission objectives, and these mission objectives unlock different talents, and it's the same sort of progression type thing, but they're just calling it a levelless system, even though it's kind of like a way to pace progression.
It seriously, yeah.
So in some ways, if Landmark implements that type of thing, and we're talking specifically Landmark right now, not EverQuest Next. I think we're all in agreement here, because with the PvP and the PvE that's going to be in the game, we don't want them to, or do we care if they put the health pools and the health regeneration and your armor regeneration, if they attach those to achievements, do we care or not? Does it really make that big of a difference?
Care depending on what type of a difference it is, because if you how do you know? Let's say I don't play Landmark as often as someone else does, right? And they've unlocked more achievements, so they can last longer in a fight than I can. So that's an unfair advantage that person has against me. Regardless of weapon, they can now last. Let's say that it takes 4 seconds, on average, 4 seconds to kill somebody in a duel, right? Say same weapons. We both have swords, and it takes an average of 4 seconds, right? And if they have a higher health pool and the ability to regen faster or have more energy, then they have the higher chance of winning over me every time.
But was that an earned advantage?
It depends. It depends on what the achievement is. If it's something simple to get, yes. But if it's a time thing where it's just like, well, I put more time to this game, but because of work. Let's say if work is the issue, and they can do such and such thing over that much more time, then it needs to be rather easy to get. If it's something that I was too lazy to go do, and it takes 2 seconds, then yeah, then screw me. But if it's something where it's like, I have no life, and I play Landmark 100 hours out of the day, and I unlocked kill 800 people, and now I'm invincible. Yeah, that's a little bit unfair.
Hey, if somebody's playing Landmark for hundreds of hours in a day, could they give me some of their hours, because I could use some more in mine?
Yeah, right.
But no, I get what you're saying, and I think that there's it really depends. Once we see the achievement system, we can actually critique it and be like, this seems like it's a little bit unfair, or this reward for doing this in-game activity and the reward for it, they don't make sense. It doesn't make logical. I kicked a tree 50 times, and now my punch skill is better, and now I'm better in combat. It's like, well, come on. I was punching the tree, I wasn't kicking it, or I was kicking the tree, not punching it. Did I just lose all of you there?
No, I get it. It's kind of like and I'll relate it to Warcraft. It's like when your mining skill, your mining skill increased. What was it? Your strength, and it increased your health pool. If I remember correctly, it increased your strength, so therefore you were tougher as a person. That makes sense. If you're a guy that's taking a pickaxe and mining rock, you're technically working out, so you are getting stronger through that action. So that makes sense. I don't know. It just depends. I mean, it just depends on what the drastic thing is. All our attributes will become. I don't know. Apparently, there's mixed. What if every attribute? I don't know. I think we need to get a definitive like what those achievements
Yes,
will do.
and-
Well, we know that we're not getting attributes. Like that's not part of like anything that they've talked about for Landmark. There's no real attribute systems. There's no. It's going to be kind of weird. That's all I'm gathering is that you might get an achievement that says like using the keyword system. Like but again, I don't even know if that's really how it's going to be, and I'm going to wait and see how it is before I lean one way or the other on it. I'm just excited that they're putting in achievements regardless of reward, even if they give me like geek points. Like I cut down my 10,000th tree, I earned 10 geek points, and now my geek point total is 110. I'm like, yay!
Yeah. I mean, Fugazi said, in honesty, to get better at any game, you just have to play it repetitively to get better. Not necessarily true. I could be. Let's say I'm just good at a game from the get-go. I was pretty baller at Tetris when I first started playing it, and I didn't need any help.
Yeah, that's what they say. Perfect practice makes perfect people.
Practice makes perfect.
Makes perfect.
Right, but it has to be perfect practice. You have to practice it in a way that actually increases your skill rather than like reinforcing bad habits and stuff like that. So, I mean, do we want to go on the achievements a little bit more? Like, what do you...
No, because if we don't really know for a fact,
Especially when we have 2 weeks to wait.
more solidly, we don't know what they're trying to do with that. Like, I think it's really hard. Like, I don't know. I don't like theory crafting. I hate theory crafting. I hate theory crafting on things that we don't know Jack and Jack left town.
Okay. So, the exceptional items thing, though, the salvaging and the refining that we've been, they told us is going to be part of Crafting 2.0. More weapons. Is that something to get excited about? Is that, what you're looking forward to?
Yeah, because that kind of gives us kind of an early look of what crafting will be like in hopefully EverQuest next.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to weapons, and I'm looking forward to I'm looking at it right now just to make sure that things don't come out of my mouth that are wrong, because I'm never allowed to be wrong. Yeah, I don't see armor. Right? Thanks, Gladys. I love you too, man. I don't see armor on this list. Are they not releasing more armor? That makes sense.
Yeah, it's in there.
Okay. Well, I'm hopped up on day 12, so forgive me for being incapable of reading. I'm twitching a little inside, I swear. As long as the armor looks better, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
So what's a weapon that you would expect them to add with the next group of weapons that they add to the game that you'll be like, oh my god, I can't believe that this is the weapon that they left out?
I kind of want that. I remember the armor piece for the dude with the top hat and the cape. Like the guy that looked like Snidely Whiplash, like that dude. I kind of want that guy. I don't know what he does, but I kind of want him.
It's like a pistol or a hand crossbow.
Is it?
I would like a shield. Could I have a shield, please?
I just want that guy to have bombs and like.
Oh, that would be... Damn, something like that with the little proximity mines. That would be cool to have. You brought this up last week, I think, where it was like the little bomber, right? He's got his bomb pack and he's throwing out the little, grenades.
The bombs and stuff, and he can use dig hole, create giant, chunks of land out from under people and stuff like that, and that'd be fun. And he has a sticky bomb, and you can trap people with that. I think that would be fun. I'd like to play that guy.
So, how did you guys feel about the armor in the game?
From last week, I liked it, but not all of it. I enjoyed the warrior armor. It just, I don't know. There's no helmet that we have yet, and the armor is it looks very good. It was very detailed. It just, I hope that's not it. I really hope that it. I hope it could be better.
I'm sure that it's not it because we've seen the cleric armor that they showed at SOE Live, and we already the dark elf warrior that they showed at SOE Live. We've already seen that armor is already now in Landmark. So I'm assuming that at some point in time, the cleric armor that we saw at SOE Live will be added into the game. And yeah, it's pretty and it's standard the silvery gray sheen of metal.
Well, the thing that concerns me, and I realize, let me make it clear, I realize that this is not, the full-on, official launch of the game. But really, like, my hands are hidden inside of the hips of my armor. The armor flares out so much at my hips on my female character that it looks like her hips are twice the size that they really are. The shoulders are enormous, that it hides part of her hair. They promised me no World of Warcraft armor, and I have lantern shoulders and enormous hips.
I will say on the women characters, the armor is like off. They need to tighten that up on the women. The males, it's fine. Like the male, it's okay. Like I didn't see a size like I didn't feel like it was really Warcrafty on the males. On the women, a little Warcrafty, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's like the sizing of it, but it was at least the metal armor and the oh god, what was it?
The cloth.
The cloth one.
Also, I'm a jerk for bringing up something that they discussed last week. I was not here last week.
No,
so.
but no. We discussed we never discussed what the armor actually like, because I don't think any of us have a female character, so that's good for bringing it up because I didn't really. I don't think any of us brought it up how it looked up on a female character, but then, like.
But we did talk about the new armor and like how we felt about it. We're just like supposed to be like, okay, that was then, and we got this blueprint that we're looking forward, and that was like, hey guys, new armor coming in.
Well, okay, so my concern with the blueprint saying that new armor is coming in, if they repeat the mistakes of the previous armor,
I don't think it was a mistake.
Like it.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think they just have to make sure. Well, it's something at least that they need to look into, make sure that the armor is a little tightened up. That's it. I can see that. You don't want your hair to clip. Like, if hair's clipping through armor and stuff like that, that's just... They need to look into that. Like, that's just... It looks ugly. It looks
my
like
hair was, my hand... Like, everything from, like, the middle... Like, I would say roughly the middle of my arm between wrist and elbow was clipping into the armor skirt. I mean, I know it's really not a skirt. It's like the hip protectors, but they flare out so much that they swallow my gloves.
Yeah, and as people are saying too, like the armors are different, like even the colors are different between male and female. So yeah,
right.
Like, it's
Tamlin and I were noticing that.
Yeah. So, I think this is something to look into. I think moving. As for new armors, cleric. I don't know if we'll get cleric yet. Be fun though. Like I said, I kind of want bomb guy. I kind of want cowboy too. I kind of want. I don't want traditional. I kind of want traditional fantasy now. I kind of want like the other stuff. I kind of want sci-fi and western, and there's some
gunslinger outfit like they showed at SOE Live. Oh my god!
I think they need to do some. I think they.
That would be cool one to see.
If they want to like revitalize Landmark a little bit, they need to start going like way left field with like I know, and they showed the left field stuff. Like they need to start throwing that stuff in game. Throw the gunslinger in. Throw like the dude with the top hat in. Throw the stuff that's not like normal. Like oh, here's armor. Here's like a staff wielder. Like throw the stuff that's way left field, and people are gonna be like, oh, we may have to jump in and try that out. That's kind of look like you want to impress people. You want people to play. You want people to stay in your game. Go left field. Landmark is your left field game where like you can pretty much draw and throw anything in there because it's not what your traditional EverQuest Next MMO is supposed to be. Well, not traditional,
right? It's genre agnostic, right? So
yeah.
So give me the light swords, the force swords, the chain pistols, and all that sort of fun fantasy or fun science fiction stuff that we never see in fantasy games, and mix it all up with some modern stuff and the mid, the western stuff. Just give it all.
Yep, I agree. I think it's time to start seeing some of that stuff because it'd be fun.
All right. So, other than that, what else have we got? We've talked a little bit about the integrated voice over internet, right? Because we're all, I don't know, Dave. When we brought it up to Dave, he's like, we are not the average user of MMOs. Do you guys think that that's necessarily true? That we have like TeamSpeak and Ventrilo and Mumble all installed on our computers already, or do you think that are we the rule or are we the exception? Do you think that I think that they prioritize that way too high. To put that in the game. I think that they could have I don't know. They could have waited forever and not bothered me with it.
What did you say? Integrated via voice over IP?
Yeah, that they're integrating the voice over internet into the game.
I guess if you want to make sure it works by the time EverQuest next launches, because if we're kind of...
But it's already in PlanetSide 2. They already have it, right? So they know that it's work.
If it's the same system, maybe they want a different system for it. I don't know. Chewy would be the person to ask it with PlanetSide 2 since he played it so much about how the voice over IP worked. But then, of course, like I have a TeamSpeak server. What's the point of integrated voice over IP survey?
And that's the thing is, like, I want to ask you guys directly as hosts and as the community in chat is, like, do you think that we are, if you have some sort of voice over internet program installed on your computer right now, do you feel like you are the exception? Like you are not the average player, or do you feel like most average players have one form of interaction on their computer already?
Oh, I am the exception because I have more than just one. I have like 4.
Well, I have them all because, well, I have all the ones that I know about, like including Raid Call, TeamSpeak, Mumble, Ventrilo,
Yes.
and it's because I don't want to ever have to wait. Oh, hold on, guys, hold on. Let me get it installed. Let me get it configured. Let it, let me make it work. I want all that stuff installed and ready to go. And I realize that, yes, I am kind of the exception in that I have like all of them. But when it comes to, that's why I said like just one. Like, do you have one like Ventrilo, TeamSpeak? Do you have one?
Yeah, listen, I use Mumble, I have TeamSpeak, I have RazorCom, I have Razor's freaking voice chat.
I also have RazorCom, so I have more than Finland does.
Like, I mean, I guess it's for people that are... I almost say it's almost for people that want to use, like, I don't want someone to, like, have my TeamSpeak, but I'll chat with them. Maybe. Like, I guess that's an option for us to communicate. And I don't want to give out my like. Let's say I meet somebody in game and like, well, I really don't want them to have my TeamSpeak server information. Like, but I'll talk to him or them, and they're just like,
don't you?
Like, aren't you Flatus from EverCast? Like, yeah, I really like you.
Yeah, it was voice over internet protocol, whatever. It was voice chat that absolutely brought me to realization that just because it's a female character in game doesn't mean it's a female player in game. Like, I don't know why I made that assumption, but I'm telling you, the very first time I ever got into voice chat was for a dungeon, and they like, oh, come in and chat with us. And I was like, okay, so I logged into the chat thingy to talk to them, and there's not a single female voice, and there's like 3 female characters in the group, and I was like, where are all the girls? Oh my god, dude, it's a girl! It's a girl! Oh my god, it's a girl!
Yeah, I don't know. Now
it's girls.
Now it's rare for me to ever even run into a 10-man raid group without at least one member being a female.
Yeah.
So part 2 of that is it necessary for a game like Landmark?
No. Where's the combat?
I mean, if you're doing team builds, what's the point? If you're going to do a team build, you're already planned it ahead of time. You download it. If one person in the party has access to one of the bajillion voice server things, then you're going to just download that and talk on that and plan and speak over that. I guess if it's, I don't know if it's for for any reason that you would hold maybe like a big sort of, like, we don't even know the extent of it. How big? How many people it can hold? Where does it work? Like, is it just the same as like the one in EverQuest 2, where it's kind of shoddy?
Right, and that's like the one in, like somebody said in chat, and I totally agree. I've tried using the one that they tried to integrate into Warcraft, and it was crap.
Yeah.
And so it was like, nope. And I think that was one of the things that I've learned about Warcraft is that once they released that into their game and people realized how bad it was, they walked away from the integrated voice and never looked back. No one in Warcraft uses the one that was in game. No one. And that's like you just said about the, like, Planet Side 2, I hear, is pretty good, especially because it's sort of proximity based.
It is.
And I know that there's other multiplayer games out there that have the same sort of thing, that you can talk to people in close proximity to you just by running up to them. And I think that's actually a really cool feature. I don't know if it's necessary for Landmark, but it's cool, especially in EverQuest Next, where being able to find groups to accomplish like small little objectives on the fly might be really cool to be able to do. Like run up to someone instead of having to stop and talk to them, or stop and type to them, you could just talk to them and they can listen to you. But the unfortunate thing is that I feel like if they don't get it right, people will turn their back on it and just disable it and never look back, because it's got to be good or it's not going to get used at all.
Very, very true.
I don't know. Listen, I'm one of the guys that would like to see voice chat taken to a new level. Like, have me run by an NPC and say, like, oh, adventure. And, like, the guy's like, oh, I have an adventure tale to tell you. Like, he just picked up the word adventure, and it was like, wait, I recognize that word. Let me tell you a story. That would be fun for me.
I love that idea, but it's sort of like, because, with my relationship with Kylest, as we were evolving and figuring things out, right? It's that
you would say keywords and she would send you on adventures.
No. That I learned two things right off the get-go. Is that if I came home and played MMO, like I'm the type of guy, I do a podcast on it. I come home, I play games. I play video games. I used to play in raiding groups that, I would be on my headset for like 4 nights out of the week. And that really this is like, separating me from everybody else going on in the room. And we learned is that if I take off the headset, it's suddenly like I'm not in a far off planet. I'm able to have a conversation. And so like I would love to play EverQuest Next, but when I have to wear my headset and when I have to talk into a microphone, I'm alienating everybody else in the room with me. Whether or not you play solo or live solo, but at the same time, there's a group of people out there that if I'm talking to my computer more than I'm talking to my wife, she's gonna get pissed.
Thanks for calling me out. Also, when he has his headset on, he yells.
It's true.
There's like the screen, or you...
No. It's
no. Like when he talks with his headset on, he
talks
louder than normal because he can't.
I have to hear myself
over those enormous headphones, so he thinks he's not loud enough. So and when now I feel like I have to defend myself. When he's spending 4 or 5 nights a week raiding for 2 to 4 hours a night, and he is talking to other people more than he's talking to me, when he is touching his computer more than he hugs me, there is a problem. When he has to be told by his wife, dude, you're losing rep with your wife and you need to start grinding it again, there is a problem.
Right. So that's why I said, like, when you put, like, it would be cool to have NPCs react to you talking into your microphone. I just don't know. That might be a little too next level gaming for me.
There is a joke in all of these references to talking into the mic, and I'll leave it at that.
Wife aggro.
I'm just trying to tiptoe over the topic and getting to the next one.
I love my husband. I know that he's a gamer, and if he wants to spend like 3 or 4 nights a week raiding, it's not a big deal, but spend one of those nights with me. And if that means raiding with me one of those nights, it's totally copacetic. So, yeah.
Alright. So...
Word.
We don't really fight. I mean, seriously, do they really like fight?
They don't fight, but they'll duel.
And he'll lose.
Snap.
I just wanted to get off the topic. Like, if I knew that this is where we were going, I would have never brought up the voice over internet. So, how about what's next on the list? Okay, so November, December on the blueprint, they've changed it all out. We're going to get monsters. They're putting in the keyword system. We're going to get imbuing, and they didn't call it Caves 2.0, but I called it Caves 2.0. It's going to be deeper caves with more chambers. And those caves were already pretty deep. I can't imagine just like, oh my god.
Do you think they're going to get closer to the... Do you think they're going to start actually putting in the levels now? Like,
oh yeah, because it's gonna be monsters and caves 2.0. So it's like it's gonna be that close to the surface level of caves, and then the next level of caves where they're gonna have monsters and stuff in them. And they haven't really said. But my guess is that because there's nothing after November, December on the blueprint, and the blueprint used to be fairly extensive, and it used to be like the road towards open beta, and now it doesn't say anything like that. It's not talking about the road to open beta. It just says like this in 2 weeks, the November 12th patch, and then the stuff for November, December, and that's it. And I'm guessing that these are all of the things they want to knock out before they go into the open beta.
yeah. I mean, I get lost in some caves already. So I can't imagine caves 2.0. I'll just be down there like, where are you? I don't know anymore.
I don't
I'm an
even.
adult.
Yeah, I don't even try getting out of caves anymore. I just like wander around recklessly, like I don't care where I'm going. And then when I'm done, I grab one of those travel crystals to take you back to your claim, and I'm like, peace. Screw this. I'm not trying to find my way out.
That's how I get out of caves too. Like I don't try to get out. I know better.
It would be nice to be able to do like the I forget that fairy tale. Like do the breadcrumb thing so we can find our way out. But it's like no.
Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah.
Hansel and Gretel and find our way out that way. But since there's no trail marker system and it would be kind of be pointless because it's not just horizontal caves; they're also vertical, and it's like wow. Screw it. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, it's not like Minecraft where I can like just put like all the torches on the left hand side so I know my way around the cave.
Oh my god, I totally do that too.
Yep. So you know where you're going.
Oh my god, we spent like 30 minutes talking about the blueprint. Real quick.
You sound shocked.
Well, we've got ogres to talk about. Ogres.
Ogres can go to hell. I am so pissed.
So final thoughts on the blueprint, the updates and stuff, and then we'll move on to the ogres. Now that we've seen them as the next race for the workshop, they've released the new e-novel, which focuses specifically on them. So final thoughts on the blueprint. Go. Or not.
Don't ruin my game, Sony.
I'm like,
you already have.
Give me more.
Oh, that was it?
That's all I had to say, sorry.
I think that the final thoughts for me are at least achievements are cool, but they don't make a game. The prop destruction would be cool. Integrated voice over IP. I guess that's a thing. But I think at least for the armors and classes, I think that they should implement something from left field. I think more left field stuff, crazier stuff to start seeing, because that'll revitalize a lot of people into playing a lot of the PvP and get them going. I think that would be a good way to start pumping up your game again. And monsters and keywords, and we'll hopefully get to see all that stuff soon, right before we go to open beta.
So monsters and weapons and armor. Oh my.
Yes.
It's like a hack and slash role playing game. Woo!
Yeah. This may be a video game yet.
Right. So the latest poor dwarves, but the latest winner of the vote for the workshop is the ogres, which they've introduced. And none of us we're not EQ1 or EQ2 players, so like this is like a new type of ogre that we've not experienced before. I want to introduce the ogres by talk a little bit about what Morgar talked, and Morgar is the lore master for the EverQuest Next franchise development, and he didn't talk at the latest workshop show, but the one before that, I think it was number 17. He talked about the in EverQuest originally, the ogres were this mighty, powerful race of near giants that used their military and the empire, and they conquered most of Norath. And the gods punished them for doing this because they were too powerful and made them dumb. And that's why you have the dumb ogres of EverQuest. In EverQuest Next, they don't have that same like stereotype of being the dumb ogre, but they have that same history of being at one point in time like this mighty empire of these, you know, these military, militaristic, very combat and honor focused, like the Klingons of the Norath world. But they got conquered. They actually ran into someone who was more powerful than them, and I think that that's kind of one of the things that the e-novel introduces, is that they ran up against something that was more powerful than them.
Ogres are the new iPhone of
What?
Ogres are the iPhone 6 of EverQuest.
So if I put it in my microwave, it won't charge?
No, I think if you sit on it, they may bend a little.
What do you guys...
I'm waiting for all the iPhone, like all the people in chat are just like, either everyone in chat's an Android user, or I've just pissed off 40 people.
I use an iPhone, but that's not the point.
iPhone.
But what do we think about this? What do we think about this iteration of the ogres? It's a pretty, unlike elves and dwarves and like hobbits and halflings, ogres are kind of a not very defined fantasy race. They're the new boys in the scene, in the genre, because their history as part of like role playing and fantasy, it only goes back like 20 or 30, 40 years. It's kind of like the new guy.
Yeah, it's very true, actually. Ogres, and if anything, ogres have always been like never the playable race. Really, I mean D&D, of course, but
see, that's the thing. They weren't a playable race, and I remember that there was like there was a Dragon magazine article that was like the rules for playing a half ogre.
Half ogre, yeah.
I don't know what the other half is. I feel sorry for, but that's a difference. But
everybody gets drunk at a tavern one night. We all know how it starts. We've all made this. We've all been there.
All that impaired judgment.
Yeah, you roll a couple of ones. Next thing you know, you're hitting on the ogre in the corner.
Wow. And this is what dwarves lost to. But
anyway, so ogres. You're right. You're right. Though in a lot of games, we don't see them as a playable race, and I think that's kind of weird. That EverQuest Next or EverQuest, the original one, they've always been a playable race, and no game really since then has allowed them to be a playable race.
Yeah, I got. You know, I gotta give SOE credit on this. Their ogres and their trolls are legit ogres and trolls. Like they kind of been, and I kind of like that they changed them for EverQuest Next. Now they're kind of like this mighty warrior race that went up against a foe, and that foe kind of took them down a peg. They were like, ha ha ha, no more. And I think that's cool. I think it's maybe this is the kind of the change we kind of need to see. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like with the Dark Elves. I think their storyline's interesting too. I think that the Tiered All story is badass. It's time to change it up.
I like that it's familiar enough to us that we can understand when somebody's talking. Excuse me, when we're talking about to other players or that know fantasy games and fantasy MMOs and fantasy RPGs, and you say Dark Elf, like the Dark Elves in EverQuest Next are close enough to that stereotype, that whatever you want to call it, that the other person knows what I'm talking about, but it's different enough to be unique. And I think that they've done the same thing with ogres. They're like, I can throw out ogre so that enough remains true to that, like, whatever, that whoever I'm talking to knows what I'm talking about, but it's different enough from everything else that it's kind of its own unique take on something that's very familiar. I think they've done a very good job on those two races of, familiar enough but unique.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things that being upfront so far has been that, and I feel like that's the most downplayed part of it. Like, and I think it's a little sad. Like, we get it in the stories, we get it in the lore books, but I feel like they don't play that out enough. Like how unique these where it's familiar for someone coming off the streets of sci-fi, or not sci-fi, but fantasy world gaming, coming into this, where it's I can connect to what this is, and then start to see like, oh, this is different and unique. And I don't think they play that up enough. I think that could be one of the great hooks for EverQuest Next, is that your ogres are intelligent and they're not dumb. Your Tyrdal, your dark elves, their storyline, there's a past to it, and they were once normal and they changed, and things like this, and that's stuff that they can play on. Maybe it's something they play on closer to the release of the game, but they kind of need to do more of it. Because it was really, we were heavy hitting on these lore books, like where the first, I mean, this one was really short. But when the lore books came out, man, we were getting a lot of good story, we were getting a lot of stuff. Now it's like, well, okay, we got a 5-chapter thing, where it's kind of like, here's the ogres. There you go, that's it, that's what there you go.
I wasn't a short one, like, 45 pages, pretty good size, compared to some of Maxwell Drake's. His are only like 20 or so.
Yeah, I mean, it's still short though. It didn't feel as, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, I don't want to say fleshed out. I don't know. It didn't feel as, I mean, it was a good story, but it just didn't feel. It was just kind of like they took the veil off ogres, but we already knew they were there.
Yeah. Well, we saw ogres from the original SOE live release in 2013.
Yeah. So, yeah, like Layden said in chat, the Doors one was really short. Is that a pun? You're making a pun. Making jokes. Because I get it. Dwarves are short. But I don't know. I dig it. I think we need to start seeing more of that, though. It'd be kind of cool, I guess, to see on the website start taking some of this information and start building profiles for the races.
See, and I think that they're counting on us to do a little bit of that with the wiki, like, right? Shouldn't we, like the fans, like, start building on that?
Yeah, but no one's doing it. I could be wrong. Chat. Anybody in chat doing that yet? You tell me. You doing it? You send me proof you doing it. I'll send you a Halloween costume.
Proof. There we go.
Yep. You send me proof that you're updating the lore thing, and I'll send you don't just send me a link and be like, ogres exist. Don't go in there and just say, well, there's ogres. That's it.
Yeah, and we could, we're going to talk about the e-novels a little bit more after we come back from the break. Because I definitely have my concerns about how the novels and the lore and the story are all working together, and I think that there's some room for improvement that I would like to see. But I was going to wait for that until after the break and really. Let's turn our focus back on the ogres, guys. What do you think that they're not like a monster race? They're basically big humans, right? They're big military humans. Do we think that we complimented SOE and said that, hey, it's similar enough so that I can say ogre, other people know what I'm talking about. But what about like people that only know ogres from like the movie Shrek? Like they're like ogres, and so when I talk about the EverQuest Next ogre, is there a misconception? What do you got?
I hope not. I hope they're not like, well, I wonder if their ogres also have a friend donkey.
Donkey!
Is there? You got something against talking donkeys?
No.
I don't have anything against talking jackasses either.
I think that was a shot at me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so that's my big complaint about a lot of fantasy tropes that I've seen in a lot of short stories is that, like, a lot of times when you read about elves, the elves aren't really like a separate race; they're just superpowered humans, right? And that's what one of the things that I worry about ogres is that they're not really, they're just big humans, right? They're big militaristic humans. It's like if the Roman Empire, instead of being like normal sized humans, the Roman Empire is now 7 to 8 feet tall, 500 pounds, and has like incredible strength and pain tolerance. Now how much of the world could they conquer? Because they, like at the height of the Roman Empire, they pretty much conquered everything anyway. So
I don't see, like, I feel like I can't participate very well in this because I don't like ogres. I'm not like a fan of the big freaking giant semi-human races.
I mean, I'll say this. I just want them to be. I guess it just depends how they play in game and like how act to them. It's like that book was, like I said, it's more of a here are the ogres more than like the depth of what they are, how they're treated. Where like we need a better story for the ogres. We need a stronger hero. We need a better storyline. We need like they're like suffering, or were they always that way? Were they always like did they fight against all the other races at one point and conquered them, and then after they lost against that foe, they were like, listen, we got to work together, or S is gonna hit the fan real quick.
Okay. Carlos is asking to take a break here soon, and we're up against that hour mark. So we're going to come back. We're going to talk about the ogres a little bit more. Definitely hit on the e-novels because I've been holding everything back. I really have so much to say about specifically the e-novels and the story in the game and how where I feel like it's at. So we cool to go to break, guys?
We are totally cool to go to break.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. All right, so I got to choose the video for the break today. It goes on for like 20 minutes. We're only going to show the first 7 minutes. Not that you're going to lose anything by not watching the whole thing. It's basically because it's Vanguard. If you've never played the game itself, this will give you a chance to see some of the scenes that were in the game, along with some of the music that was in the game. Again, if like I've said so many times, I'm not an EverQuest or EverQuest 2 player. I started playing Vanguard when they announced EverQuest Next. I'm like, great, because it's going to be the successor to the Vanguard game. It's going to be the game that I've always wanted. And then they pulled the plug on Vanguard. And so I'm sort of like in limbo until I get to actually get my hands on EverQuest Next. Who wants to camp us out?
Me?
You?
Pick me!
Carlos.
Camping in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.